Hello everyone, I'm Silverraptor and welcome to another Wargame Red Dragon video. I have for you a quite an interesting game that I hope you all should enjoy as there's a lot of action that goes on and I'm able to apply a lot of micro. I myself did pretty well in this game and I hope you guys do enjoy the video. So let's begin it. Now I am going to be setting up my forces all the way over here to Charlie, and Tasty Testy is sending over some aircraft overhead, and right off the bat we're going to meet some enemies planes. So Tomcat F-16 shoots down a plane. I think it's that's a Su-27PU. So Tomcat's down, another plane is down, so kind of a trade between the two of them. But in the meantime, I'm pushing forward. Now I am playing my Blue Dragon armored deck, and Pat Cat's going to try to secure this village. So I sent up some AH-1S Cobras, which just kind of keep an eye on what the enemy has, and I see that the enemy has a number of anti-air helicopters. So my AH-1S has just opened up with their Vulcan guns, try to take out these guns as quick as possible. Some AA from the Flak Panzers shoots down those helicopters, and I'm sending my AA, these K263 Vulcan guns, over to about here because they can still screen for any helicopters, and they're also amphibious, so I can move them off the river whenever need be. Now over here on the left, it seems like Tasty Testy and Bubblebox is encountering a bit of resistance that they managed to get here into Delta. They might probably secure that just fine, but basically everyone's engaging. Falschmann Jaegers are engaging with the help of my AH-1S, stunning up and damaging that Gonastrelki, as I send my Nanoyard Shiki ACV over to secure Charlie to allow me to, and then try to push forward and secure Gulf. Some BRDM-2 Conquerors come up. Now they're going to be a big problem. So I sent all my tanks instantly towards this forest, trying to keep this patch of woods between them and the Conquerors, because as long as the Conquerors outrange, there's nothing for my tanks to do. But as soon as my tanks get within shooting range, shells go faster than missiles, so hopefully we'll be able to take them out as they push forward. Over here on the left, some LSTR-40s are holding off Tasty Testy from getting into this forest, but Bubblebox seems to have captured Echo, and they seem to be ripe to be able to take over Delta. But we haven't captured Bravo, so we have a severe lack of points at the start. Those Conquerors revealed themselves, and my tanks did manage to take them out. My AH-1S moves up a bit, but he falls back when he sees a Tunguska, so my tanks are a bit on their own. But I have a Kiyumaru Shiki, the big daddy of them all, with a very high rapid rate of fire of 12 rounds per minute. And these two K1s, 17 front armor for medium price, they'll also be able to back this up, and I am quite confident that I'm able to push my way through. T-62 just taps the Kiyumaru Shiki, but everyone else takes everything out. Some anti-tank squads try to fire their missiles, but they're panicked, so there's not much of a chance that they're going to get forward. And I take out the tank and start clearing my way through this side right here. The Duska is within well range of my Kiyumaru Shiki, and it's out. So now they have no air support. And I do know that there are some anti-tank guided missiles in here, but I'm quite reasonable that my tanks will be able to handle taking those shots basically to the face. So I just keep pushing them forward, try to take out whatever might be here into this forest. When missile goes out, it does hit my Kiyumaru Shiki. It takes a nasty hit, but we see the Conquer Them squads. One of them goes down. Do we get the other? And we take it out just in time for the missiles to go by. So I'm going to secure this forest quite well, but the enemy meanwhile is doing a massive push, and over on the left side, and it looks like they've been pushed out of Delta, so we're not doing very well on the left, and we might need to reassert our forces over here, depending upon how well Bubble and Tasty can hold on. Now, the enemy did have a helicopter CV securing that area. Machine gun fire might have dislodged it, but for the most part, my tanks are here in the forest. And then my 24V, I'm not too afraid of, because while they do have rocket pods, the main thing that they have is anti-air missiles. So my tanks can sit comfortably in this forest, and if he flies them over, they'll be able to open up with the machine gun onto those helicopters. In the meanwhile, I bring up more of these Vulcan radar guns to help clear out any of those pesky helicopters. I am moving my Hawk Pips forward, probably trying to aim to get that Mi-24V and simultaneously get the an air net. Over on the left, Tasty, I see that there's more coming, so the enemy is definitely going to make a massive push. So I send over my AH-1S Cobra to try to help them out in defending this area over here. Cap hasn't done much. He's well secured this area, but a MiG-29M with cluster bombs is coming for my tanks. I see where those bombs are going, and I managed to try to separate my tanks. Fortunately, they're separated enough, and that blind missed all of them. As my tanks do come forward, they do poke out of the forest a bit, so the Mi-24 is able to open up a bit on them, but I quickly retreat them back into the forest and hide. So far I'm microing these tanks pretty well, keeping them alive. Well, keeping them alive for the most part. I turn on my iHawk Pip. It takes one missile to the side, but of course they do have one armor to the side in the Mi-24V. So the second missile from the iHawk Pip finally takes out that pesky annoying helicopter, and we're off. I'm actually off to a very good side on the Gulf. Now we still haven't actually captured Bravo, and this lack of points is really hurting us. The enemy has 5 sectors, and we only have 2, bringing us reinforcement points. So they're going to overwhelm us pretty shortly, I believe. Cap is trying to move forward with some Fuchs, but unfortunately they're being torn apart by ATGMs. And these LSTR-40s are holding off these US Marines pretty well, unfortunately, so not a whole lot we can do. Over on my right, I am bringing up my radar AA as they come down along this road. So I'm trying to get them into this forested region, and he's already sees that there's a helicopter out there, but of course he's out of range, so can't really send that over. I tried to get my Hawk Pip out of this merch because I saw it was happening, but it ran out of fuel, so it couldn't actually move. And I was bringing up the Chugata cargo trucks to refuel it earlier from the missiles, so that was a big unfortunateness that happened, and it looks like we lost another infantry squad here, LVTPs, to those LSTR-40, so they've essentially got control of this entire region, so they're going to get a lot of points, and we're not going to get very much. I move my K-263 up forward, and it takes out the CV. An anti-tank helicopter comes, but at the last second gets stunned, and the missile just barely scrapes by, and shoots down the helicopter as well. And this one thing I like about these guns is that whenever there's a target in range, they just never stop firing. Just a non-stop rain of bullets until that the enemy's dead, moved out of range, or it's dead. So the MiG-29M is coming for another cluster bombing run. I need to move my tanks out of the way. It looks like they're coming right up here, where it used to be. So my tank successfully dodged that bullet again. So I am definitely on top of what threats could happen to my tanks and how to push forward. Now I could push forward, but as you can see, a lot of stuff is out of fuel, and I'd be completely at their mercy. They'd be able to bring reinforcement points. It would stretch the lines farther and farther away, and in the meantime, they're pushing further over here, and that just won't really help us out. So my goal is to just secure Gulf, get a CV in here, and start racking in more points. An Su-25 is coming in with its anti-tank missiles. It's going to go for something. It's going for my K-263s over here, but a couple of missiles makes it decide to retreat, try to live another day. And one thing about those Su-25s, they do have armor on them. So Su-24 is coming in with its anti-radar plane. Unfortunately, it takes out one of my anti-tank guns, but my iHawk Pip manages to help take it out with the help of, I think, Tasty's Block 52. Another plane took that out, but that also got shot down by the AA, so we're definitely exchanging evenly here on the right side. Whereas we're trying to build up more and more on the left, which is getting increasingly harder to do given the fact that we still don't have Bravo. Now I'm sending all my points to try to help secure Gulf, and soon we'll be putting the CV. So, and everyone else is trying to throw troops to try to defend them, but we really needed to spend some kind of troops to help secure Bravo. So the lack of points is definitely hurting us this game. Pack Cap has some hazards up here, which provides some excellent recon scouting that allows us to know what's coming around this mountain so that we can help better prepare. And my Chugata cargo trucks are finally arriving and pushing forward to rebuff up and secure the tanks here. Tasty Tessie's bringing in more LVTPs, and Pack Cap is sending a Tornado IDS. I don't know what he's going to be bombing, if anything. Where is it going? It's turning. So I don't think he has a mine. I don't know why this Tornado IDS is here. Is he trying to use it because of the infrared? I'm not entirely sure, but the Tornado IDS is flying around. Though that points could have been spent better trying to secure Bravo. Just saying. So, so far all we have to hold off is Bubblebox and Tasty Testy just use Abrams and this Bradley. We've got some AA up here, but not a whole lot is able to defend this left area. But I am definitely well secured in Gulf. She got the cargo trucks about ready to resupply. And I'm finally bringing in a CV for Gulf, trying to close this deficit of points. It's been like 10 minutes, 12 minutes since we started this game, and the enemy has had that many more points than us, so they're already well ahead, and it's just going to be very hard to try to bridge and close this gap. So the enemy is sending forward some recon, but Kiyomaru Shiki takes a pot shot at it. Now I am well aware that they were probably coming, so the Su-25T came in, took out one of my anti-air Vulcan guns there. I shoot at it with an IHawk pip to scare it away. And Jesus, that missile went right to the side of the mountain. So, and here comes the Spurches. Takes out my Chugata cargo trucks, but my Kiyomaru Shiki is already out of there. So, that is definitely a relief. But, oh no, the MiG-27M takes out my other anti-air Vulcan gun. So they're pushing me out, and I realize that my tanks are well damaged, so I'm actually going to retreat them back here to make it easier to supply, and just to secure my CV here in Gulf to make sure they don't try to secure even more points on us, because that would be horrible for us. We see a helicopter moving over on here, probably just trying to do a flank attack, and we finally managed to secure Bravo. So we're starting to catch up in points. Well, not catch up, but we're starting to bleed less points as the enemy is definitely, building up and building up and building up. So we'll just move a little bit faster, try to get a little more to the action, as we're now just doing the maintenance side and preparing that both sides need to be able to hold off an enemy push. So I'm bringing more Chugata cargo trucks to help repair my my vehicles, given the fact that my other Chugata cargo trucks were blown up. That IDS is still just circling around, unfortunately, so it's not like Pat Cat's not really using it anything special. An anti-radar plane is overhead trying to take out this Patriot. The Su-25 does take a Patriot to the face, but manages to survive because of its incredible front armor. A MiG-29M, did it drop cluster munitions? I don't know. A Hawk Pip fired at it, and knowing that they're on the ball of artillery, I move my Kiyomaru Shiki and my Hawk Pip. I should be moving my Hawk. Yeah, I'm moving my Hawk Pip away from that location, expecting artillery and cluster munitions to land right on top of it yet again. So Tasty Testy looks like he's going to be trying to take this town with one squad of U.S. Marine 90s, but the enemy is well dug in, so he wisely tries to retreat. Oh no, they got stunned. Can they get away? There's a Hempt right here. They could definitely resupply. And a rocket plane takes out that whatever that was next to the Hempt, and the Marines do indeed die. So we are definitely getting pretty thin here on the left, and I'm pretty sure the enemy's building up here in Echo. So I'm moving forward some recon and some anti-tank squads that are not cluster, which are infantry, so the cluster munition can't actually hurt them. I'm also bringing up a cheap tank because this actually has a pretty good gun, even though it doesn't have a lot of armor, so that should be able to screen the across the way here. I moved my Cobra over here on the right because I expected them to be massively pushing here into Gulf soon, and I probably would have needed that AH-1S to defend against any kind of push. Little did I know that they were actually probably going to be pushing over here on the left, because as you probably could guess, I'm focusing more on the right here. So I move my tanks back forward into position. Some Monostroki have been crossing, trying to get into this forest area. My tanks are here, and the enemy has complete air superiority. Unfortunately, I don't have anything decent other than radar AA, and so those anti-radar plates is definitely doing a number on my tanks here. An Su-25 tries to take that out, but he manages to get shot down by Pat Cat's Raphael. Raphael does get taken up by MiG-25 PD. My K1s and my Kimaru Shika are all opening up with their Browning machine gun against this M24V. And the M24V does take out one of my K1s, unfortunately, and is flanking with my Mi-24D, so my tanks are in a bit of a bind here. I'm not sure how exactly they're going to try to get out of this. An IL-102 tries to guess where my tanks are, but fortunately they moved out of the way. And he moved him forward that the Browning machine gun, the KAFV, managed to shoot it down, so that was fortunate that we managed to take it. My Kiyomaru Shiki and K1 are both panicked and damaged again, so I need to refill them. But meanwhile, my Chumats will now be trying to take and hold this forested region right here. Another Tomcat gets taken down by the Su-27PU, and the enemy is showing their air superiority over here on the left. I believe this means they're going to be starting their push. No, they were taking out a recon over here on the right, on the left. But yeah, that now it looks like they're going to be doing their push soon. Bubblebox with his mortars are going to begin to open up, and the enemy is starting to push forward with tanks and everything. I moved my AH-1S to try to take out this recon helicopter so that they can no longer give valuable intel to the enemy. And I'm just doing whatever I can to hold Gulf, because the longer we hold Gulf, the more points we can use to try to blunt this push. Bubblebox brings a Thunderbolt, manages to do some damage before he has to evac it out of there. It was taking some damage, obviously, and he brings in a second Thunderbolt anti-tank plane. It launches its missiles, but it's already evacuating out. It took a number of hits, but successfully gotten out, so that was definitely very good. Patriots fired their last two missiles. They need to be getting out of there and refuel. And the enemy tanks are just rolling forward. We definitely need everything we can to try to hold off the enemy as they are pushing forward. So an Apache comes forward to try to hold them off. Hellfire missiles are definitely doing an excellent job. Some anti-radar planes are coming forward. And no sweet, and since the Patriots are out of missiles, they're able to evac right out of there. But the enemy is definitely taking up, and they're taking up this little hill region, which we definitely don't want them to have, because otherwise they'll have an area to consolidate and shoot down on top of us. So I decide to solo attack them with my Kiyomaru Shiki coming straight to this woods here. And this tank definitely can take on enemies with no problems at all. Tasty Testy has enough, so he is taken out. He leaves the game. Unfortunately, Bubblebox Thunderbolt does get taken out here. But my Kiyomaru Shiki moves forward to clear out this forested area as Bubblebox mortars this region to help me out right here. Now, while I'm focusing down there, I am not really focusing on the enemy here on the right. So my entire attention is down here, trying to push them out of this town area. Now I'm moving my Kiyomaru Shiki over here outside of the forest using Pat Cap's mortars to try to spot the enemy, whereas my Kiyomaru Shiki should be able to shoot at it at the moment that they reveal themselves. And now some Mi-24Ds come forward, and I'm forced to retreat my Kiyomaru Shiki, as it's not much to be able to take out this Mi-24D. I definitely need to have some kind of AA to deal it out, and especially with the weapons jammed, my Kiyomaru Shiki is not going to be able to hold off on his own, so he needs to sit back and repair his problems. In the meanwhile, the enemy is pushing forward. My Chumats are out of the missiles, so they've definitely been shooting a lot of things. And seeing all this, I just brought all of my stuff back to hold another defensive line here at Charlie and try to hold them off from securing our only other reinforcement points and another sector. But we definitely lost Gulf in terms of points, so that is definitely a real shame. Kiyomaru Shiki is back up in action and is now doing his best take out. Unfortunately, his stabilizer is malfunctioning, so in order for him to fire, he'll need to stop. Fortunately, K1 is backing him up, and they're managed to take out these APCs that basically are have those anti-tank missiles. So these tanks definitely are able to stop, hold their own, and keep the enemy back at bay. Whereas they're now bringing again another one of their air superiority. One IL-2, one goes down. A lot of infantry are taken out in that village. Now a lot of these seed planes are coming over looking for seeds, so I bring in this Peace Bridge. The Peace Bridge only has Sidewinder infrared missiles, but it's already taken out one plane as it's swinging around. Goes for another seed plane, takes that out successfully. So this Peace Bridge is definitely very good in close quarters combat, coming around for another pass. It takes out that last seed plane before just deciding to get out. So this Peace Bridge definitely did its job in engaging planes in close quarters combat. The fact that they were so close to my air spawn means it could engage right away and dogfight and take out all three of those planes. So excellently done. The enemy is keeping their aircraft circling in. With the lack of radar due to the amount of seed that they have, we are unable to really hold off the enemy's aircraft, and we're definitely at a significant disadvantage here. Now I notice that there's this recon squad here, so my KAFV says, "Oh, hello," and decides to shoot them out. MI-24V is trying to take out my recon here. PatCap needs to get his missiles unloaded, and he does. And this MI-24V takes one shot to the side and manages to escape with his life. Or nope, he manages to die. So that was definitely very good. MiG-29M comes in. It's coming forward my tanks. He takes my Kiyomaru Shiki, but he's still alive. And seeing that the infantry coming forward, I have no choice but to push him forward to engage and try to keep the enemy back at bay. More aircraft are coming in as we're trying to secure this area, and the enemy is definitely making their push here on the left. Now, I would have moved my Kiyomaru Shiki in K1, but I was pretty sure there was still infantry left in this region, so I started pulling them out. And yes, indeed, there is. An anti-tank missile barely misses the anti-radar that I have here. I stop here and try to repair my tanks before I can move forward, because they are both pretty damaged, and the Kiyomaru Shiki is going to run out of fuel. The Mi-24D takes out our CV and Bravo, so we're definitely on a very huge deficit of points. The Su-25T does take out the last of the tanks that we needed to hold off that area, as PatCap tries to move his CV back to try to hold off the enemy. I'm bringing a Nanion Shiki G with his main gun to try to hold off the enemy as well, but this is not looking very well for us. Well, we're definitely putting up a Herculean last stand. We still have 65,000 points. The enemy is 6,300. So even though we have just lost our sector in Alpha and we only have Charlie left, we are still nearly even on points, or actually a little ahead in points, trying to hold off the enemy, but it's pretty much a matter of time at this point. Su-25T takes out the Crotel, manages to escape with his life. The enemy's definitely making a good use of his troops. Okay, 263 takes out another helicopter as I start beginning to moving my tanks forward to try to engage. Because these tanks, isolated alone, I know they're going to be picked off before long by other helicopters, so I'm just trying to move them to be able to get as many kills as I can and try to keep this lead of points and try to hold off. If we can hold off for 6 minutes, we might be able to draw this game. So, tanks are engaging. Yeah, now Shikichi does get taken out. Skurzad is holding off Bubblebox, his rifleman. So Monostroki, or most shoots in, reveal themselves and they get taken out. Kiyomaru Shikis come forward. Enemies artillerying and bombing this area, taking out all of the tanks that we have. My K1 unfortunately moves out of the forest into the open that the enemy can easily take out. And there it goes, my K1's taken out. MiG-29S is taking out Bubblebox's mortars. And we're basically just left to just Charlie and this little pocket of resistance here in Alpha. I move my tanks forward and I'm trying to kill this fob, because now that the enemy has it captured, if we destroy it, it'd still be points in our pocket. So my tanks decide to wail away at that, but then the other tanks come forward I take out one of them. Okay, this KF does take out the other tank. My Kyumarokushiki is still firing at this fob. I probably should have stopped him and tried to take out this. But he's definitely taking these shots of these tanks. I don't know if I'll actually kill that fob. The enemy is definitely pushing forward on the right. So it's definitely looking pretty grim for us. My K1 is holding off as the enemy is pushing forward. My Kyumarokushiki is taken out. My K1 is taken out. As a helicopter comes in as the enemy has capture of Alpha, they're bringing in reinforcements and aircraft from this area. So we're basically to the last leg. My one of my CVs gets taken out, and this last one here is pushed out by Napalm. And this IL-102 with this bomb will probably take out that tank, and it does. So 2 minutes to spare. We just barely get defeated. But it was overall a good game. We managed to hold them off well in advance. I was able to definitely secure that right side for a long time. We were unfortunately pretty thin to the left, and the enemy took full advantage of that. Well, thanks I would like to thank everyone for playing as well. Bubblebox, you all probably know him. Pretty good guy. Definitely a good wargamer. I did really well this game with my Blue Dragon armored deck. Pat Gat did okay. He's definitely got a good number of kills and only just by 300 losses. Tasty obviously wasn't having a good game, and that happens, and it can get quite frustrating, so that's alright. My AH-1S definitely killed a number of enemy before during its lifetime. The KFVF 90 did, and whoa, Kyumarokushiki. You got a lot of kills. Modestroki, T-62Ms, Tunguskas, Conkers Ams, Iglas, Recon, Modestroki, Gru, Modestroki, MT LBVs. K1 got a lot of kills. K1. So yeah, now I know why I did pretty well. When tanks have mountain of kills, they're definitely doing their job, and that's why the Kyumarokushiki is probably, I think, one of, if not the best tank in the game. iHawk Pip, take out the Mi-24V. My K263 takes out a number of high expensive helicopters. Kyumarokushiki that I sent down on the bottom, he got a number of score kills, definitely held off for as long as he could on the left. So yeah, and my Peace Bridge with his 3 shoot down of seed planes definitely did its job. So that was still a good game. I mean, yeah, we lost, but we can't win them all. And as long as the game is good, you try your hardest, that's all you can hope for. And as always, never give up, never surrender. So thank you so much for watching. Please do like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed this Wargame video. And I will see you all in the next one. Thank you, and goodbye.